All right, we're getting somewhere. Perfect.
You need a website.
Hey
Why
there,
not do it
everybody.
yourself? Go to Wix.com to
welcome to
create
my
your
stream.
stunning website today.
I'm gonna get this guy
Choose from
launched
hundreds of
to as
templates.
many places as possible.
Drag and drop anything into
And
place.
without further
Change
ado,
text to make it yours.
I just want to let everybody know that we are still
And show who
intending
you
to
are
launch,
by adding your own
on Monday
images.
for the Ronan Warrior Pack. We're hoping to have a nice
With a
solid
beautiful
campaign.
gallery,
We're
everyone
hoping
can see your
to do
best
it for
work
35
and
days
share it with the
and raise
world.
a crap ton of money
You can
with
easily
your
play
help.
and move things around whenever
But
you want.
Mostly today's stream is I just
Ready
want
to
talk
sell
about,
your products? Add a
just what's
professional
been on
online
everybody's
store.
mind. There's been a lot of things that
Bring
are
it
happening
all to
this week.
life
For
with a
instance,
video background.
the Paul Ryan healthcare bill, right?
You can feel
Trump
confident your website will
finally
look
got
stunning
shot
on
down.
every device.
Thank goodness too, because that literally
With
would have
Wix,
killed
you can
20% of the
easily do it
population.
all
That's just not
yourself.
something that
Go to
I
Wix.com
support
to
as a
create
human
your
being,
stunning website today.
As someone who has affiliated themselves with the Democratic Party, as a
The
progressive healthcare bill, right?
You can
Not
feel
something
confident
that,
your website
I
will look
got
stunning
shot
on
down.
every
Thank
device.
goodness too, because that literally
With
would have
Wix,
killed. And I
you can
already
easily
I
do
just
it all
wanted
yourself.
everybody to know that
Go to
I have to pay
Wix.com
attention
to
as a
create
human being.
your
I am
stunning.
listening, and I think it's great that what's been going on has been going on. Um, I also would invite everybody to do do some chat session with me, so I know that people are watching and that people are engaged. And really and truly, a lot of the things that we're trying to do, what we're trying to figure out, is to see whether or not I should do something like a podcast, or if I should do more constructed and scripted type shows rather than just do these 1 hour town hall sessions. Now, personally, I like doing the town hall. I would rather hear from you live and know what it is you want rather than just, talk about whatever I want to talk about. We got enough of that, in my opinion. So let me see if I can't find this whole live stream business. Because what I don't want to have happen is that it goes back to the whole it goes back to the whole looping thing. That was a huge pain in the rear. Did I not share it on my main page? That would make sense, of course, that I share it on my branded page. At least for this part, we have established that I know what I'm doing with the technical difficulties.
You need a website. Why not do it yourself?
Awesome.
With Wix, you can create your own professional website.
Commercial-oriented page. Okay. At least for this part, audio in the background, we have established that. Well, hopefully, I know what I'm doing. I can mute everything. Do I have to have? Are you kidding me? Do I have to have YouTube open in order to actually do this? That's unfortunate. All right. I'm looping. Is it better now? I just can't win with this YouTube thing, can I? I mean, I'm trying, though. Guys, I am really, really trying so hard. Let me share this in a couple more groups. By the way, just share this link to as many as you can, please. That way we're getting this out and about. Unashamed, self-promotion and all that stuff. A 50-second delay. Well, I don't know what that's all about. It could be that I have a lot of things going on, because on my thing here it says 4. Anyway. Whew. So thanks for joining me on my weekly live stream. We got several people watching. Let's up that ante a little bit, shall we? And yeah, so current events. The Trump care didn't pass. We got several independent and progressive campaigns going on all across the country. The California, Los Angeles District 34 race is ramping up, and that vote's going to happen, I believe, next week on the 4th. Or is it the 5th? either which way, that's coming up next week. And, show your hat for the Democrat candidate if you support him, or support the Green Party candidate, Kenny, if you support him. I mean, either way, progressives are winning right now. So go out there, vote, show your support. And then whoever wins, whenever the dust settles, work together. Bury the hatchets. We're all progressives. We might disagree with the little intricacies now and now, but we're progressives at the end of the day. And anybody who's progressive or Bernie-crat-esque in Congress is better than somebody who is not. For April. Thank you. Also, I think you guys have noticed that I have a new channel. Well, not so much new. It's probably going to get merged with my personal channel on this one. But the idea is that I have a branded channel now. So I've made several videos talking about various things, gerrymandering, voter suppression, how we get the ballot to be counted properly, stuff like that. I'm going to try and do that weekly as well, or at least have videos get uploaded on a weekly basis. I might have to do a little bit of cheating to get a bunch of videos done this week and then upload them throughout. But that also correlates and coincides with a potential other fundraising mechanism. So I mentioned the Kickstarter, which is all things going well, is going to launch on Monday. We're also considering a Patreon account just to see if that'll do a good job. We're also looking into doing a podcast and doing something more scripted and deliberate. I can talk for an hour, if need be, about literally anything, and we can make it even fun and whimsical. See, here's the thing. It's not that I'm against talking about politics, because clearly, right, all I'm doing is politics. But I think there's more to it than just Samuel Ronan, congressional future candidate, DNC candidate, state representative candidate, right? I know stuff about politics. You know stuff about politics. And we want to talk about politics. That's the whole drive, right? But we should be able to talk about what movies are out. We should be able to talk about favorite video games, books to read, comics, whatever. Magic the Gathering, for all I care, right? We should be able to do a little mix. And with my podcast, I'd like to do a little bit of whimsy, too, every now and again. I think people get burned out on constantly, like, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. We got to destroy the Democrats and the Republicans, right? So I want to do things like that as well. Let me see if we got a little bit of chatter going on with some of the shares just now on the live stream. I just want to know that we got some engagement going on. It might be that, as much as I like YouTube, it might make more sense to use Facebook, just because it gets that further reach and that larger stream for the time being, and then we can transition to YouTube. But either way, man. Oh, good point. Oh, no, I did do it on Twitter. I know for a fact I did it on Twitter. Samuel Ronan live stream right now. 5 likes and 1 retweet. So get to Twittering, folks. Let's see. What else can I look at here? I could just talk about a bunch of different topics. I mean, what's on everybody's mind? I think healthcare should still be something we talk about, right? So even now, after Trump Care failed to pass in Congress and Paul Ryan, used up all of his political capital, the Democrats, of all people, still aren't trying to push Medicare for all, universal health care, single payer, whatever you want to call it. They're still not pushing it. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. None. Just like, why wouldn't you? Like, if people are angry with you for not being progressive enough and not being grassroots enough and blah, 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 wouldn't now be the perfect time to, even if it was to sell out completely, say, hey guys, we'll support single payer now. It doesn't matter that you don't have a supermajority of Congress. You still have like 40%. 40% isn't enough to shove it down the throats of at least 10% more plus 1? Are you kidding me? I'm just as fed up and frustrated as everybody else, folks. Like this, I mean, I don't know, man. I really have no idea what else we could possibly do in the movement or what the Democrats are thinking. Tom Perez could be a hero. He could be remembered in history as the DNC chair who made it a point to present across the Democratic platform at all levels of government, across all 50 states and all 3,000 plus counties in freaking Congress, to make it a point to present universal health care, and he's not doing it. If I were the DNC chair, you damn well better believe that's what I would have done. And I still haven't gotten a phone call from them, folks. I don't know what you want me to do, man. Like, guys, I'm willing to help. I am literally offering my services, skills, common sense maybe, two brain cells to rub together for the DNC to actually do its job. But if not, then I'm going to continue to do this Our Voice thing. I mean, you're leaving me no choice. Oh, it was dropped from the national platform. Of course it does. So, Chad Hood, your quick question. Can we run both Facebook and YouTube? That's a maybe. I'm pretty sure all I have to do is open up my cellularized telephone. Of course, I have like 500,000 notifications I have to go through first. Okay. Cleared everything. Opening up that there Facebook. Super fast phone, by the way, folks. Although this case, like, I'm not being paid to talk about this case, but this freaking phone case was strong enough to crack my windshield. And my phone is perfectly fine. It's pretty ridiculous. That was like the best, like, $50, $60 I ever spent on a phone case. I mean, it sucks that my windshield got cracked when I got rear-ended, but that's neither here nor there. All right, I'm going to go live on Facebook as well. But I don't have the green screen there, so weekly live feed on Facebook and, can't type, YouTube. And maybe, just maybe, I'll get a little bit of, a little bit of questions and answers there too. So it's going to be both. I don't know how that's going to work, guys. My phone's on mute, so it's not like there's a reverberation of stuff. But we'll find out, I guess. Hey there, everybody. Hey, this is my 25th broadcast. Woo! 25th Facebook stream. Hey, you know what, Chad? That's a great idea. We should send mass phone calls, fax emails, and to the DNC for me. Why not? Most of their information is also not available. But I could probably compile a list for everybody, get that stuff going. Let's see, CDAV. Going to Georgia isn't necessarily a problem. It's just there needs to be a little bit of event planning to make it work, right? So really and truly, just talk to my event planners, Sherry McGee and Adrian Higgins, to help plan my southern trip. We're also definitely going to have to start doing this whole GoFundMe thing. And it's not that I'm trying to be a sellout, guys, but right now I'm not working, nor am I drawing any unemployment. So I'm going to have to either slowly wind down how much free time I have with the progressive movement and get a real 9-to-5 job, or I'm going to have to start charging minimal fees for these events, like $1 or $5 or something, just so I can cover my rent. That isn't me trying to be a sellout or anything. That's where I'm at right now. Yeah, I probably do need a haircut. Actually, I do need a haircut. I need a haircut and a shave. I need to get on orders. I need to get some military going for me. Chad, what position in particular? That's a good question. I'm not sure what position on the transition team would be available, since I'm pretty sure DNC chair is not. But I'm sure we can come up with something, right? Hey, samronan.org, don't go to there. Everything is at Our Voice still, so keep pushing everything to Our Voice. Although the GoFundMe should still be up. Let's see what happens when I type in GoFundMe. GoFundMe dashboard. Yeah, okay, so as it turns out, it's still live. So I'm going to shamelessly tweet my GoFundMe. Now, here's the thing. I'm also launching a pack, all right? I'm trying to launch a pack so that Our Voice can start gaining money too. People were asking me, how do we donate to you? Well, the PAC is what I want to predominantly do, but it's like a catch-22. I need both. So pick your poison, I guess. In either case, though, I'm kind of disappointed in my live stream numbers, folks. There's only 20 people viewing right now. Usually I'm getting like 80 or 100. We need to bump those numbers up. So if you're listening, share to groups, share to your page, share. And we'll get this thing rolling. Yeah, maybe I should. I would really, hey, Nina, if you're watching this, I'd love to work on your campaign if you choose to run for governor. We all want you to run for governor. Nina Turner, run for governor. Oh. Actually, that does remind me. I haven't been able to write an official press release, but I would like to make an announcement for Cullen Tiernan. He is running for office. He is running in, where did he go? He told me exactly what he was running for. He's running for the vice chair position and for his state party, his state Democratic Party. And Cullen Tiernan has been around since the beginning. He's great people. He really needs to get your guys' love and support. I believe he's in California. So California love, baby. And it's ourvoice.org, John. Cullen Tiernan, going back to that, he previously ran for Fremont City Council. Great guy. He's progressive through and through. He's somebody that you can trust. Let's see. For those of you on the Facebook stream, I was talking about the healthcare bill and how it's a great thing that it finally didn't pass. It's wonderful. That is the best thing that could have ever happened to us, is that Trump Care did not pass, and that shows that our voice does make a difference. It shows that protesting and activism and calling your congressman and making their lives a living hell works. Now we just have to show up to vote, right? But more so than that, we have to have people worth voting for. And that's what Our Voice is trying to do. That's why we're launching the PAC. That's why Our Voice, the organization, is a thing. We are trying to make candidates who are worthwhile get on the ballot, give them support, give them the structure, give them the volunteers, the contact list, the media outreach, the social media outreach, everything that it takes to run a campaign, we want to provide so people like you can vote for them. And so you can tell your friends and neighbors, like, you know what? Today, you don't have to vote for the lesser of two evils. You can go to the polls and you can vote for this person. Yeah, they're primarying as a Democrat or they're primarying as a Republican. By God, Our Voice sponsors them. Our Voice is supporting them. Our Voice is finally getting heard. That's the person you need to vote for during the primary. And then when we primary the incumbents and we win, that's how we take back our government. That's how we take back Congress. That's how we take back the state legislature. That's how we take back our city councils and our school boards. We primary the hell out of them in their places of power, in their strength, in their offices, without any remorse. We take them to heal, right? We bring them to heal. We bring them to their knees with our strength, with our resources, because we are the many and they are the few, and it is high time they recognize it. That is what we are doing. That is what you are doing. That is what I'm imploring you all to help me achieve. So, with that being said, we can find another topic. Well, for instance, that bridge collapse in Georgia. I know that isn't much with politics, but that does bring up a very valid point. Our infrastructure is failing through and throughout the United States. It's old, it's crumbling, and we need to fix it. We really, really need to fix it. It is literally falling apart. And God forbid it would have been during traffic hour, because that would have been dozens of lives lost, scores, probably even hundreds of lives lost. I couldn't tell if it was like 100 yards or if it was, a smaller section, but that was an entire overpass that fell on top of another overpass. I mean, that is just something unacceptable. And we have $20 billion for a frickin' wall across Mexico, which won't even be a complete wall because there's mountains, ranges, and Native American lands that said, nah, we're not letting you build that crap on our sovereign lands, right? We have $20 billion for that, $3 million for Trump's Mar-a-Lago vacations that he said he'd never take, but we can't take care of our own roads and infrastructure? I think not. That has to change. That has to be priority number one. And honestly, I don't see how that could possibly not be cross-platform. Like, if you're in rural America and people are telling you, we don't need new roads, you need to slap them. Like, that is a level of ignorance that we just cannot afford. Like, that is not even, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent. Like, you need roads. We need lights. We need to make sure our plumbing works. Because guess what? Flint still doesn't have clean drinking water. And law enforcement is still attacking DAPL protesters for protecting water. For literally protecting water. They're being attacked and ransacked and abused. So, now then. It's been April Fool's, right? And I think I got a lot of people. I got like 403 likes and like 80 something comments and several shares when I announced my bid for president for 2018. First of all, I'm 27 years old. So the first strike against me, I'm not 35. And I still won't be 35 in 2018. Secondly, 2018 isn't a presidential election year. So I apologize if I really got the goat of people on that one. I do intend to run for office. It's just a matter of timing for the announcement, the official announcement, and the endeavor. I want to make sure that our voice is standalone and that the Ronan Warrior Pack is standalone as well. Yeah, and Congress is the intentional run where it'll be Ohio's first congressional. Like, I already know where I'm going to run, right? I mean, I got the paperwork right here, right? Got all the, whoops. Got all the, the paperwork and all that. But, actually, this is the wrong paperwork. Whatever. But it's going to be for Congress. See, Ohio's first congressional. I got all my demographics and stuff. It's just, it's got to be all about the timing. And quite frankly, I'd rather put off a run for Congress and dedicate a year or two to our voice in the pack and give everybody a chance to run for office and succeed, rather than maybe get elected to Congress by myself, by my little lonesome, and then, not knowing what's going on. Right, what Tana Welsh just said. And actually, Kevin, I'll be able to run for president in 2024, so 4 years too late. That'll be my second term, right? I'd also like to give a shout out real quick to several new members of the Our Voice team. We've been growing, right? You've probably noticed that the state pages have been growing and proliferating. And you've probably also noticed that we've been ramping up our volunteer efforts and our recruiting efforts. So I'd like to thank Alita Pierce. I'd like to thank Michelle Joy Streisand. I'd like to thank LaDonna Loki. And I'd like to thank Rachel Martinez and Michelle Mann for very recently coming up to our Voice organization. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention Jake as well. Although, for the life of me, I can't think of your last name right now. I apologize. You know how those things go. But suffice to say, 6 new amazing members, phenomenal work ethic. They are just, I don't know where we'd be without them. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out there. I also wanted to make note that we have 2 organizations that we are about to partner with. We're going to discuss this week, Sunday, tomorrow. We're going to talk and meet and discuss how a partnership will eventually work, which means our network and coalition building is already underway after 5 short weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Those organizations, check them out. Politics Are Born and Take Back Politics. Politics Are Born is doing a lot of what Our Voice is trying to do at a much larger macro level, and they're trying to focus at the local level. So we're trying to integrate just because it fits. And then Take Back Elections, they're trying to do the platform piece. They're trying to get ballot access initiatives started. And we're going to help them reach out and build those progressive ballot initiatives. I think I've explained before that Our Voice can't simply advocate every single progressive thing, because we're going to be a national, over-partisan, transcending partisan organization that emphasizes the main ideological talking points, but then caters our campaigns in those local areas to what the politics and the needs of the local areas are. So, for instance, we will have policies on gun control and healthcare and education, but it's going to be tailored to wherever we are at, rather than just putting universal healthcare and education on the map, right? And that turning off this much of the constituency. We're going to go straight and directly to wherever we are, and we're going to have the conservative translation of progressivism and the moderate translation of progressivism. Or if we happen to be in liberal America, we can just be like, progressive folks, and call it a day. So lots of great things. I mean, literally, it is an exciting time, and I wish there were more people able to watch right now. Probably too many April Fool's pranks going on, right? So long and short of it, we have new members. We're fundraising. We're building an app. We have an infrastructure going. Our organization is strong, and it's only getting better and better and better. So, guys, I mean, it's getting there. We are literally. Oh, I'm totally in the wrong. I was totally in the wrong drive just now. But I mean, we are at work. We are doing things, and we're making it work. So, best time for live streams is Sunday at 6. I can work with that. In fact, tomorrow is Sunday. That normally would work because we're going to do our team meetings at 7. So, if Sunday at 6 is better for everybody, I mean, I suppose we could switch. Is that what people would want? Here, I'll just finish it all right now. No, but seriously, I want to make these things as effective as possible. I want these to be interactive. I don't want to just talk for an hour about what I want to talk about, because then I could just do a podcast, right? But that actually brings me to another point. And I brought it up earlier, but I'm going to bring it up again. What would everybody think about a podcast? Just a weekly podcast, 30 minutes to an hour, talking about the flavor of the day or the flavor of the week, flavor of the month, whatever it is. Is that something you guys would be interested in watching, a podcast? And y'all are now watching. Spread the word. Spread, spread, spread. So one person at least would watch the podcast. The really neat thing about these streams, I really like the YouTube because our voice is in the background right now, right? You can see my lovely green screen on the Facebook, and people are like, ugh, it's a green screen. The second I learn how to figure this out on my cell phone, I'll do it. But for now, you're gonna have, if you want to see what's in the background, you're gonna have to go to YouTube to see that. Let's see. You know, another neat topic, as I'm just scrolling through my Facebook feed here, is North Carolina needed 6,500 farm workers and only 7 Americans stuck it out. You know, we keep getting all this flack for having immigrant workers, right, stealing our jobs, yet it's these immigrant workers that are willing to do the grueling labor work for pennies on the dollar, usually. Americans can't do it, and we won't want to, right, because that sucks. But the problem is, we also have this negative view on skilled labor, like mechanics and electrician and plumbing and HVAC and all these things, right? But those are the high-paying jobs. In fact, you're more likely to get paid a higher wage doing electrician work, plumbing work, HVAC than you are with a degree straight out of college. And it's because you're learning a skill, and a skill is something that you learn and apply as you're going through vocational school, because most of it is on the job and application. Whereas with a degree, it's theory, and employers want actual skill and an application of whatever that job requires. That's why usually there's like 2, 3, 5 years of experience. Well, if you've been in school for 5 years, you haven't had a chance to go to work for 5 years, and even if you've been interning, They even want some work experience nowadays. So we're missing out on a huge potential for our flagging middle class and going into debt for school, perhaps needlessly. If you're not sure what you want to do with your life, don't go to a four-year school. Go get a skill. Go to a vocational school. Learn how to fix cars. Learn how to be a carpenter. Look how to work on being a professional painter or putting up drywall. Like, you'd be surprised how much money those things make for just a 2-year associate's degree. Just things to consider. Let's see what else is on the agenda today. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Anch Grover. Anch Grover became the Progressive Caucus Chair of the Democratic Party for the entire state of Florida. That's pretty impressive. That guy helped me when I was running for DNC chair, and now he's a bigwig in Florida. I mean, he's still not giving me any, money and all that, but just kidding. Don't forget the little guys, though, okay, Anch? We're watching you. What else do we got going on? Oh yeah, I saw a lot of Hillary love today. Oh man, April Fools, right? I kind of almost feel bad for her though, because she probably did see her, her hashtag spike today, and she's like, yes, people love me. It's like, oh wait, April Fools. Although George Takei announcing he was going to run for Congress and that being a joke, that was no bueno. That was really uncool because people were. I was actually really excited too. I was like, dude, we need to work together. But got him. Oh, look at this guy. Weekly live feed on my news feed. That's what's up. I'll share that real quick. Wait, nope. Didn't mean to share it on my page. Meant to share it on my timeline. Hey, if anybody can share it to the dank meme stash and whatever that other big group is with 300,000 people, could somebody do that? What do we got? So, I mean, I'd really like to, I've been kind of prattling on for 30 minutes, so I got another 30 minutes for you guys because I care about you, right? Heart. You're the reason why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I have no interest or reason to do a live stream other than for you guys. So, this is your time to shine. This is your chance to do whatever it is you want to do. Dang, I could have scheduled my social media chat for 8. Missed. YouTube was actually several minutes before Facebook. It's just the delay is really awkward. Thank you. It's the real Bernie Sanders activist. That's what I was talking about. All right. Let's see. I guess an update. We have the application being well underway built. The database is coming along swimmingly. We also are going to be improving our onboarding forms. We're going to be also improving ways to volunteer and submit information. And that's the thing. We need as much help as possible at data mining, right? If you're bored, if you're on the toilet, if you're on break, just Google media contacts, right? NBC, local news networks, newspapers, whatever. Find the name of the company, their website, their email address, their phone number, and submit it to Our Voice. The action, under the action tab, fill in the data. One of 3 or 4 forms, right? That's all we need. And if you're really bored and you have a lot of time on your hands and you can put all this stuff in an Excel, we have a Dropbox for you. We need all the information, the name of the organization, their URL, their email, their phone number, and a point of contact, and we are golden. Well, actually, we also need the state and the zip code of where it's located as well, because that's how we're trying to differentiate these things, is by state and by zip code. So the more information you give us, the better off you'll be. The lady from Sane Progressive who's attacking Bernie, what's my opinion? Well, I would say it's rather insane to attack Bernie Sanders. I don't know what point she's been making. I don't watch her live streams. I barely have enough time to do my own live stream. And that isn't to sound arrogant or cocky. It's just, you would not believe how upside down and topsy-turvy my life has become with going on phone calls, going on events, doing interviews with other organizations, doing my own stuff, recording these videos, and just, oof, it's a mess. It's a big mess. But it is what it is. Normal sized hands. Look at this. My hand is the size of a cup. For better, it's bigger than a soda can. Oh, man. I'm sure that's going to find a way to come bite me in the ass during my presidential run in 8 years. Look, he's comparing the size of his hand to a soda can. Look, how much self-esteem does he have? Whatever. By the way, Coca-Cola, delicious. Not nutritious, but delicious. I also like Pepsi and Dr. Pepper, so I'm just awful. I'm just a sellout all over the place, right? Let's see, what else? Oh, no. Actually, yes. Yes. I'll be in New York City this month. The April 15th, well, actually, April 13th through the 23rd. 10 days on the road in New York City, New Hampshire, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Guys, if you're in any of those states, come on out. The events are listed on my Facebook page, the verified one. Come on out. It's going to be a great time, especially the Get Money Out of Politics rally on 4/20, right? We have guest speakers, Tim Black. We got local candidates. We have Ali Mirza, and we're hopefully going to get some big names like Cenk if he's in town. Jordan Sheridan, I believe, was another one, and the Bernie Sanders impersonator. So good stuff if everybody can show up. But it share that stuff as well. Let's see. The March for Science. I don't know when that is. Chances are I'm either going to be a part of it or I'm not going to be in New York City. It's one of the two. Probably, I definitely am not slated to be going to DC anytime soon, unfortunately. Ranked choice voting, and how realistic is it to push to make it a standard across the country? So ranked choice voting, I like in principle. It's just a matter of how would you do it. Some people argue that it makes hand counting ballots impossible. Some people argue that it's only possible to do through electronic ballot, like the electronic machines and whatnot. And I've advocated for mail-in ballots, but I've also advocated for open source and for technological improvements just in the meantime to use paper ballots and mail-in ballots at that. The thing about ranked choice is I agree. I think it is more feasible if you do it digitally or online or through a voting machine. I think that's just the most realistic way to do it, honestly. Because even if you did like a Scantron, right? A Scantron thingy, you would still need to be able to find out how many dots were there, all three, none, one, two, whatever. I just think there's too much human error involved if you try and count it like that. But I think ranked choice could very well be in the future of American voting and politics. So Tana Welsh, you said ranked choice is working in Washington. How is it working in Washington? Is there an article? Is there a press release? What are they doing? What's working for them? What should we be doing? Then in the meantime, while you're answering that, ooh, you know, my throat isn't hurting from talking, but I guess I'm getting tired from talking. uh, let us look. Oh, there's apparently been some updates with the missing children in DC. Apparently, it was an officer who was in charge of the whole smuggling and child sex ring, like the whole horrific mess. Law enforcement. No wonder it was taking so long to get investigated and so long to get solved. So the law enforcement reforms that are desperately needed need to be happening now and sooner rather than later. And that's one of the things too. One of the things I'm working on is an internship program that'll probably launch sometime in May for the new upcoming semester. All across the country, we're just working on the job descriptions and getting the information to contact internships at the schools. One of the primary things we want is to get law students on board and to give you guys the opportunity to make history, to truly affect change by suing state legislators, suing the government at all levels to make these legal changes, because there are so many laws that are questionable or downright unconstitutional but haven't been struck because the judiciary is just as corrupt and in bed with the establishment. I mean, they are just as establishment as everyone else. Look at Gorsuch. That guy is a judge, and yet he's more corrupt than half of Congress. So we have to clean house, not just in the legislature, but at the executive level and in the judiciary. We also need to start enforcing protocols and limitations to our law enforcement before more tragedies begin to happen in our wake. Da, 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 da. What else do we got going here? Looks like we got Will Petrick. He's running for city council. He's trying to get money out of politics in Columbus, in Ohio, no less. So Buckeye love. I just saw his crowd pack on here. I'd welcome everybody to check him out and see how progressive he is. And if he is, put him on blast. Show him to the world. That's what we need to do. We need to start supporting each other. We need to stop fighting. We need to stop coming up with yet a new organization. We need to stop coming up with our name, our different thing. And we need to start looking at who's already doing something and helping them get there, right? Nobody else is building a third-party structure with the intent of uniting the progressive movement, right? That's why Our Voices exists. But there's plenty of people trying to vet candidates. There's plenty of people trying to get policy issues on ballots. There's plenty of people doing research. There's plenty of people doing social media outreach campaigns. There's plenty of crowd packs, plenty of crowdfunding, right? There's plenty of like individual, get money out of politics, clean energy, healthcare, education, activism, right? Social activism, LGBT rights, transgender rights, Black Lives Matter, women's rights. We need to be working together. If Planned Parenthood worked with Black Lives Matter, which worked with the Women's March, which worked with No Ban, No Wall, which worked with DAPL, you know how powerful we would be? That would be half the movement right there. And then add Justice Dems to it, add New 535, and use the Our Voice network, which is already proliferating across the country and at all county levels, to be a support structure for candidates to get elected. Are you kidding me? That's the game. That's where we need to be, folks. So that's my little punch home there. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about this. So does everybody know that Congress and Senate just passed a bill allowing companies to sell your private browsing data? Like, they can literally now go through your search history, which used to be protected, and they don't have to, even your login information and your passwords. Like your login information and your passwords, that means your bank login and password. That means Facebook, Twitter, never mind like your AA Advantage Sky Miles card, right? They can get everything and sell it to the highest bidder. That is appalling and atrocious. If that isn't a breach of privacy and security, I don't know what is. And they legalized it. We need to raise an unholy hellstorm against our congressman who passed that. And unfortunately, I don't have a million people watching right now because I wish to God I could reach everybody in the country right now, because that is important. That is a violation of your rights. That's a violation of your privacy. That's a violation of ethics in every sense of the word. we need to fight back. Like, that is not something that we can take lightly, because if we let this go, internet neutrality is next. Our ability to literally freely speak will be next, because Facebook is already censoring posts, right? So now they're going to be able to buy your posts, your user data, your browsing history, and apply it to your income and whatever else you're affiliated with, and they can completely snub you. They've already done, there's already studies that have been proven to be shown that Facebook has done psychological surveys where they purposely took a percentage of Facebook users and only gave them depressing information on their timeline, whether they were adhered to it or not, just to see if it would affect that person in the real world. And it did. So now they're going to have that much more data with which to work with. This is a very terrifying turn of events, folks, and we cannot let it go quietly or without addressing it and making damn sure our elected leaders know that we do not approve. They need to overturn this immediately. So there's that. Let's see what we got now. Oh, the anti-Planned Parenthood filmmaker. That's good stuff. That guy charged, as he should have been, because you know what? Them and the anti-vaxxers that have been spreading false information, that is literally the reason why measles, mumps, and rubella is coming back in the United States of America. And if you don't like me for saying vaccinate your children, go away, because you're gonna kill other kids. See, here's the problem. Not everybody can take vaccines. The whole point is herd immunity, right? If 100 people are immune to something, the one person who couldn't get the vaccine is also going to get immune because it's not being carried. But the second you drop that number to like 70 or 60, that means 30 or 40 people are going to carry it or be able to carry it, which means that one person who couldn't get it regardless is going to get it. That's why measles, mumps, and rubella is on the rise. Polio is on the rise. That's why so much child and infant mortality rates, or that is the reason why child and infant mortality rates were so high back in the day, because there was no treatment. There were no vaccinations. So vaccinate your freaking children. They're not going to get autism. And you know what? Even if they did, you're saying a psychological disorder is less appealing than their life. Okay? You are putting the life of your child at risk because you don't want to deal with a psychological disorder or a mental disorder. Really? And most autism isn't even that advanced. It's minor things. Usually it can be handled, and most people don't know that they have it, right? That is the actual facts. So, vaccinate your damn kids and quit making the mistakes of the past recur just because some people are making millions of dollars over ignorance and fear-mongering. Stop. Okay. I think I've hit that one. Although let's talk about universal health care now on that subject. I'm going to pull up some spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. I don't know if you know this, but I love spreadsheets. I can't get enough of them. I think they are the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I have done so much cool stuff with spreadsheets, it's not even funny. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, it's this one. Okay. So, did you know that in fiscal year 2014, we spent about $618 billion on Medicare, about $500 billion on Medicaid, and in private health insurance costs, folks. So Medicare and Medicaid is taxes. That's money you're spending anyway, right? That is $1.1 trillion that is out of your pocket regardless. And on top of that, you got to spend $991 billion out of pocket. Now let's go back a notch. Fiscal year 2014, 318 million people are what is the population in the United States, right? 270 million people are 18 years or older. Certain whatever percentage of that is 26 years and older, right? So let's just say, for the sake of argument, 240 million people are 26 and older, right? 240 million people is not who has health insurance. Who has health insurance was a roughly 34 million people. So let's do some math. 991 billion divided by 34 million. That's A ludicrous amount of money being wasted on health insurance on top of your tax dollars. Thousands of dollars on average spent by the average person like you and me. I'm 27, so I don't get to be covered by my parents. Granted, I was in the military, but that's neither here nor there, right? Everybody watching probably has to pay for their own insurance, right? And that's even if you're covered. And I think 34 million is being extremely generous on how many people are covered, right? 34 million people created a profit in health insurance of $991 billion. Okay? That is a problem. And we're already paying $1.1 trillion in taxes for healthcare. So you do the math. You do the math. 318 million people, well, it's not 318 million people paying these taxes, but 318 million people would be covered under 1.1 trillion, or 34 million people being covered under $991 billion. That's 11, 12% of the population. 11% paying $991 billion. You'd have to multiply that by 9, which would be $10 trillion to have a for-profit healthcare system that covers every single last American in these United States. That is appalling, that is reprehensible, it is unacceptable, and that is exactly why we don't have single-payer healthcare, folks. Numbers do not lie. And now maybe my guesstimations, my calculations might be a little off, but this, no, that is the real deal. $1.1 trillion is what your tax is already paying into healthcare. And on top of that, a small portion of the population is paying $991 billion. Disgusting. Oh, but wait, there's more. Out-of-pocket expenses on top of your insurance costs, $329 billion. Hospital expenses and costs, $971.8 billion. Meaning, if all you did is pay your insurance money, let's just forget for the fact that we are also paying it in taxes. But let's just say you paid all your insurance money. The insurance industry would still be making $20 billion. They'd still be making $20 billion. Okay? But wait, there is more. Physician and clinical services, $603.7 billion. Meaning, physician and clinical services, meaning you already paid $971.8 billion to go to the freaking hospital, and now you're getting charged again for the clinical and again for the physicians. What? Are you serious? That's like $2 trillion, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. The $297.7 billion in prescriptions. That's because in the good old USA, you spend $2,000 for a freaking pill that is $2 in the UK or India or everywhere else. Literally everywhere else. $2 trillion, folks, is what we're paying out of pocket in insurance costs, out of pocket, physician and clinical services, and prescription drugs, on top of the $1.1 trillion we're spending in taxes. $3 trillion for our healthcare system, and only 34 million people are covered. Are you kidding me? So, you want to be outraged? You should be, because this is bullshit. All right? Whew. Got that off my chest. So the next time anybody tells you that universal healthcare is not solvent, you know what? I'm sharing this. It's an Excel spreadsheet. Don't get me wrong. It's not pretty. I'm going to actually publish it. It's not, it doesn't look pretty. I don't know how to make it look prettier, I guess. So, but I'm going to publish it to my Facebook page, just my personal Facebook page. Or I'm going to share it on Facebook and Twitter and all the stuff. But I just... it's rather galling when you really look at the numbers. It's like, seriously, $3 trillion, and I'm still paying out of pocket on all this ludicrous money? Like, what? $3 trillion Oh, trillion, mind you. All right, I'm going to pull up my calculator real quick, right? So 3 trillion, that's 1,000, million, billion, trillion. 3 trillion divided by 318, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 million, right? 3 trillion, 12 zeros, divided by 318 million. You're telling me per person, $9,433.96 isn't enough? On average? Okay. Another fun fact. Did you know that only 90% roughly of the major costs of healthcare are due to the recurring, like 90% of healthcare costs are because of those who need a lot of healthcare, the elderly and those with chronic illnesses like cancer and like the debilitating stuff, right? That's 90% of our healthcare, right? And the rest of the 5% or 10% or whatever is us just going to the hospital. So so 90% of the money is going to like 5% of the population, or like 90% of the money is going to like 1%. It's not going, it's going to like, I think it is maybe closer to like 5 or 10 or 15%. So 90% of the money is going to 15% of the people who need it the most, right? Which is cool. Like, if I get cancer tomorrow, which is like a several $100,000 lifelong for the rest of my life procedure, I kind of want to be covered. And I'm healthy as a horse right now. Well, okay, I'm not, you might be, but you get the idea. For the most part, people are healthy. And I think most of us that are watching this that would agree with this are like, you know what? I want to be covered to that degree in case I ever do get to that degree, right? And even then, with $3 trillion, do you know, like, 3 trillion, I think, I don't even, that doesn't seem right to me. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Divided by 318, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, I guess that's right. Anyway, $3 trillion. Do you understand how much money that is? Like, the military budget, the entire Department of Defense, $600 billion. 3 trillion funds the United States military 5 times over. It funds NASA 300 times over. It's triple the amount that we currently spend on Medicare. We could be spending at least 2 trillion of that on infrastructure. And then Georgia highways wouldn't be collapsing. We would have clean energy. We would have solar freaking roadways. Now, I know that there's some people that are like, well, that's not possible. The roadways are blah, blah. Okay, guess what? Is it 3 million or 300 million? 3 million square miles of solar panel roadways can power the world several thousand times over. I don't give a damn if it's like 5% efficiency. All right? So if you look at a map of the United States, right? Like, let's say this is the United States. You need something the size of my finger touching here to power the entire freaking world. Okay? Solar freaking roadways. The problem we would have is storing that energy and then selling it to the rest of the world in whatever stored capacity. We'd be finding ways to utilize that energy. We would be able to make life like interactive holograms so that when we play Pokemon Go, we actually have freaking Charizard right next to us and we can freaking pet him and give him a freaking high five. Like, we'd be wasting. We could keep our lights on, keep our water running, keep our houses at frigid temperatures during the summer and heaters during the winter and not even touch the scale. We could use that excess energy to heat our roads so that they never ice over. Ever. Ever. 2 trillion. High speed rail? Okay. So it's like really expensive to go flying. Okay. That's because it's privatized. If the federal government owned high-speed rail like they do in Germany and everywhere else, right? Deutsche Bahn, $50 gets you from one end of Germany to the other. And it also gets you to other freaking countries because the European Union's smaller, right? It's kind of like the United States in terms of size and whatever, right? Imagine $300, right? Let's just say $300 to go from Vermont to Southern Cali. And high-speed rail from that distance has an average rate of 300 to 500 miles per hour. That's 3,000 miles. 10-hour trip for $300. Could you? Okay, and that's a train. An airplane gets maybe, like if there's a direct flight from Vermont to Southern Cali, that'll probably be a Boeing 747, 300 people, right? More or less, 300, 400 people. I don't know. I don't know anything about this Boeing 747. But what I do know is that a freaking train can bring thousands of people from one side to the other. And then flip it over and do it again, and flip it and do it again. At 500 miles per hour, 300 miles per hour. Even if we're talking 300 miles per hour, that's a 10-hour trip. A 6-hour trip if we're talking 500 miles per hour. Maglev, people. $2 trillion is what's being wasted right now. And I haven't even gotten into the dissertation about marijuana and the hemp industry and what kind of potential output that could have. So, I think that actually turned out to be a really good chat, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I know what next week's topic will be. We're going to be talking about cannabis and how it can literally fund literally everything in the United States of America. So thank you for watching. Tune in next week. The recommendation was Sunday at 6 p.m., so we'll give that a whirl. Thanks, and you guys have a great rest of your evening.